Hey guys, welcome back to day 2 of Best in Beauty of 2018, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what my best foundations and primers were from 2018. And I feel like this video is going to be kind of short because I kind of stuck to what I really liked, especially when it came to primers. With foundations, I did try several different foundations, but I had like my core foundations that I just absolutely loved, and there were a few that I discovered this year that I fell in love with. And I forgot to mention this in yesterday's video, but since I'm breaking this down into different categories, I decided to go ahead and combine my drugstore and high-end products together. I just thought it would make more sense to just include all of my favorites together since I'm breaking it down into the categories. If you are new to my channel and you don't know my skin type, I have normal, slightly dry skin, so that will probably help you to know if these products are gonna work for you. I don't have super oily skin, so I tend to go for things that are moisturizing or illuminating. So yeah. So my favorite primers for 2018, this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Primer. This is my go-to primer when I want, like if I'm wearing a matte foundation and I want it to have a glow, this is the primer that I use. It just gives your skin such a nice, healthy glow. And I did compare this to the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, and this is a dupe to that primer. It's just super moisturizing and it has a nice illuminating glow to it, but it's not like, it doesn't have a bunch of chunky shimmer. It just looks like your skin is wet. Now, on days when my skin is just feeling super dehydrated, so especially in the winter months, this is kind of my go-to primer. This is the Hard Candy Hydrating Primer 12-Hour Moisture. And I thought for a while there that Hard Candy was discontinuing this because I couldn't find it for a while, but I found it the other day at Walmart. So I don't know if like maybe my Walmart is just late to the game and they are discontinuing this, or maybe they're not. But if you can get your hands on this primer and you have a really dry skin, I highly recommend this. I think this would be really good for somebody with like dry, mature skin, or even, you know, if you don't have mature skin and your skin is just really dry, this is just so good. I'll even pair this, you know, with whatever face moisturizer I'm using, and it just feels so nice and hydrating. So absolutely love this. This doesn't have any like shimmer to it, but it does give your skin like a nice like you just got done at the spa sort of look. Another primer that I recommend if you have dry skin is this Becca First Light Priming Filter. And this is also like a brightening primer. So if your skin is like looking dull, this is a good primer to use because it just has like that lavender in it, and it just helps to brighten your complexion. And it does have a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not as like glowy as the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. It just has like a subtle glow. So if you use this underneath a matte foundations, I don't find that it makes them look dewy or anything like that. And this stuff has such a nice fragrance to it. Like it has a nice just citrus. It reminds me of summer whenever I smell this. And it's probably because I got this in the summertime. Like it almost smells like Fruit Loops. I don't know, but like in a good way, like a fresh Fruit Loop smell. And this is also a good one to use in the summer months when you're just a little dry, but you don't want something that's gonna be too heavy, because like sometimes this can be like too heavy in the summer. So love that. And with all these primers that I'm talking about today, I mean, they don't necessarily make your foundations last longer. They just hydrate your skin and just smooth your skin so your foundation goes on like more smooth. You know, if you have any like dry patches, it helps, you know, to smooth all that. So, you know, especially this would be really good if you had super dry skin, like flaky skin. Another, which I debated on whether to put this in my primers or with my skincare products, but this is the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer, but I decided to include this with my primers because I use it as a primer. This is kind of like the Wet n Wild Dewy Primer, but it's not quite as dewy as that. It just has like the right amount of moisture to it where it feels really moisturizing when you put it on, but then it just absorbs into your skin and just makes your skin just super smooth, so the foundation just blends over it super nice. This is one of those products that you could probably just use as your daytime moisturizer, especially if you're oily skin, and then you have your primer and moisturizer done in one step. So love that. And then on days when I feel like my skin is just looking, you know, kind of red, or I want to even out my skin tone, I like to use the Maybelline Master Prime Blur Plus Blur Plus Redness Control. This also, for me, it kind of fills in my pores a little bit, and I do find with this primer it does make my foundation last a little longer, and it's not quite as, I mean, it is moisturizing, but it's not as like heavy on the moisture as my other primers, and it, I don't know, it just perfects your skin. It kind of gives it more of like a matte look, and just evens out your skin tone. I feel like you guys should know what my favorite foundations are because I mentioned them so much, like over and over again in my favorites videos throughout the year of 2018. I mean, I have other foundations that I do like, but these 4 foundations are like the best of the best in my makeup collection, and if all of my makeup disappeared, these are the 4 foundations that I would run out and buy first. Hands down, my favorite foundation of the year was the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. And like I told you guys, I'm more into like a dewy, just fresh face. And since my skin is more on the dry side, this is just such a beautiful foundation, especially in the winter months. It just gives your skin a nice, healthy glow. It is the most luminous foundation that I have found. From drugstore to high-end, it's just the best. If I want my skin not to look super dewy and not super matte, this is the foundation that I use. And I used to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Like, that was the foundation that I would use when I wanted my skin to look like that. But this has replaced that foundation. This is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear. And I got this foundation this past year. Lancome actually sent this to me, and I just fell in love with it. Like, it has a good medium to buildable coverage. It doesn't look heavy or cakey on the skin. It just looks like your skin, but better. So a lot of times this is like my day-to-day foundation. It just looks so nice. It's so long wearing. It's the foundation that I have on today. I feel like this would also be really good on anybody that has oily to dry skin. I feel like this would work for all skin types. They have a lot of different shades in this line, so comes with a pump. When I want a super full coverage foundation that's gonna last all day long, the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I discovered this makeup in 2018 and I fell in love with this. I also like to use this as a mixer foundation, so if I have a foundation that needs just slightly a little bit more coverage, or if I want it to last a little longer, I might mix a little bit of this in. This is kind of like the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but like in the drugstore version, and it's not quite as full coverage as the Estee Lauder Double Wear, but the Revlon Color Stay. And you guys know how long this has been a favorite. This has been in like favorites for several years now. Day to day, I don't usually use the Estee Lauder. It's just kind of like I save that for special occasions, or like I said, if I need to add it to a foundation to make it more full coverage or long wearing. But if I want my foundation to be a little more matte than the Lancome, I go for the Revlon Color Stay, and this is the combination oily, and like I said, it lasts all day long. It's just a great everyday foundation because it's not too expensive, but yet it's gonna last you all day long. A lot of times too, I'll mix it with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow to give it a little bit of a glow. I feel like both of these would work for any skin type out there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Best in Beauty for primers and foundations. I know I didn't have like a ton of this, but these are just my core favorites. So you guys will have to let me know down in the comments what your best foundations and primers were for 2018. If it was ones that I mentioned, if they were different ones that I need to pick up and try out. And maybe if you have oily skin, let us know down in the comments what your favorite primers and foundations were for 2018, because since I'm more normal to dry, obviously my preferences are going to be a little different than somebody that's like oily skin. So if you guys did enjoy this, please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
In about 5 minutes, I'm self-destruct. 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 In about 5 minutes, I'm self-destruct. About 5 minutes, I'm self-destruct. About 5 minutes, I'm self-destruct. About 5 minutes, I'm self-destruct.